Welcome to Chef Alli's Farm Fresh Kitchen. I'm Chef Alli, and I've been stirring up a love of farm fresh cooking all across my home state of Kansas for over a decade. I enjoy teaching you about food, cooking, and family farms. And from farm to fork, Kansas farmers are always working hard so we can enjoy delicious Kansas-raised food.
Welcome into Chef Alli's Farm Fresh Kitchen, where we've already got some things cooking up.
Yes, we do.
Got a big game coming up.
Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yes, and I know that my family, we raise cattle. So it's always my privilege wherever I go all across the United States to get to tell people about the Kansas farmers and ranchers that always make for sure that we have wholesome, nutritious food to put on our table. Game day is no exception, and if you want to know more about the Kansas farmers and ranchers that grow your food, if you go to the kansasfarmfoodconnection.org, you can actually connect with all the different commodities across our state, those farmers and ranchers that provide different things, whether it's wheat, soybeans, cattle, pork, whatever it is. Please go and learn more about your food because you can visit the website. Yes. Now, having said all of that, game day food is no exception. We want it to always be good, and I don't know about your house, but at my house, there are some pretty big shoes to fill when it comes to game day food. It has to have chili, it has to be cheesy, it usually has to go in the crock pot, things like that. So we are actually going to make
warm all day because you're eating all day.
That's right.
It seems like.
Yes, you're watching the game and chowing down. So we are going to make a really cool chili cheese Super Bowl dip. All right. So in your pan over there, Amanda, you have pork sausage.
Yes.
There's three things you kind of got to know about pork sausage. One is how to defrost it. We always want to do it in the refrigerator or in cold water, never out on our counter. The second thing is we always want to make for sure that we cook it until we no longer see pink, exactly, and the juices run clear. So that's how we always want to make for sure that we know that it's done. And then the third thing is getting the fat out of the pan. We typically want to get that out of there. What I like to do with my cast iron is, or any pan, is usually I'll tip that up, scrape my sausage to the side, and then what drains down, I'll put a paper towel down in there to soak up that fat, and then I throw those away. Now some people do rinse their cooked pork or their cooked ground beef underneath the faucet. I typically don't do that, but you certainly can if you want to get every little last bit of fat out of there.
Okay.
So in your pan, we've got the cooked sausage. And to that, I'm going to have you add, because stuck to the bottom of your pan, you can see right there, Amanda, is your fond, all those crunchy things.
Yes.
So if you go ahead and add this water that we have sitting here, I'm going to turn your burner on. Medium-high heat. Add your water, and that will deglaze your pan to bring everything up off the bottom.
That's what deglazing the pan
There you go,
is.
yeah. It gets all the goodie up off the bottom and into what you're cooking. Very important. This is what takes your recipe a step above everybody else's because it really concentrates the flavor when you do that.
All right.
You've got salsa. Go ahead and dump that in.
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
Okay.
Go ahead, that's about 1.5 cups. And that's a Kansas product. I'm so proud. That's a Jose pepper salsa that we're using. There's a heaping tablespoon of taco seasoning and a little bit of red pepper flakes.
All right.
Okay, and then right here is 1 can of black beans that have been, yeah, me too, that have been drained and rinsed. Now, you're going to stir all of that up, and then once you get that combined, I'm going to have you chop up the cilantro that we have that we're going to put in, and then also some scallions. You can just chop those starting at the green end right into your skillet.
And use our kitchen shears?
Absolutely, and I know that you know about that. Now, I also know that there are people in your viewing audience who do not like the V word, and the V being Velveeta. And that is not particularly this brand, but just any processed cheese, because people think that it's not good for you, it's not a whole food. So a lot of people have an aversion to this type of cheese.
Right.
So what we're making over here in this pan would be our cheese sauce. And it's very easy to make a cheese sauce, especially if you happen to have a can of evaporated milk in your pantry, which is something that I recommend everybody keep in the pantry at all times because it makes a very creamy white sauce, which is also the same thing as a gravy, of course. And so what we've done is we have put some butter and some flour, equal parts, 2 tablespoons of each in our skillet. And then we browned off the flour, because have you ever had gravy that tastes kind of pasty?
Yes.
That's because your flour didn't get fully cooked. So we brought this up to temperature, browned off the flour. You can see it's getting all nice and bubbly. And so we want to go ahead and add a little bit more of our evaporated milk. And that is not the same thing as sweetened condensed milk. They're two very different things. We want evaporated milk for white sauces and gravies. And then to make it a cheese sauce, look at you go.
Is that right?
That's perfect.
Okay.
Dump that in there and stir all that up. And then we would let that simmer, Amanda, just until that reduces just a little bit. But look how beautiful that is with the black beans and the green cilantro. That smells so wonderful. So to the cheese sauce, we're then going to add 1 cup of shredded sharp cheese. Actually, that was to the white sauce. That just made it a cheese sauce. And you can see that that just melts really, really quickly. The other thing that's a good idea when you're making any kind of a sauce is to get a flat whisk. This helps to ensure that you don't have any lumps in there. It's a great tool to have. And then what we'll do is we will then take our cheese sauce. And if we were at home, I would let that reduce just a little bit more.
Does that mean more liquid goes away?
Yes, the liquid will go away. But we're going to go ahead and I'm going to add this cheese sauce right to that skillet. And then I'm going to let you go ahead and combine that with that spatula.
That so good.
It is good. And you know, the neat thing about this dip on Super Bowl day, yes, I'll have to say it is kind of fattening and it's ooey gooey stuff, but you know what, just a little bit of that, a small portion of it really makes you feel satisfied. I mean, you really feel like you're eating something yummy. It's not like you have to have tons and tons of it.
Yeah.
The recipe I think will be at Mom's Every Day.
Absolutely.
It's also at my blog, which is Chef Alli's Farm Fresh Kitchen, and we will also have more of the steps of this recipe, so if you really want to learn how to make that white sauce, that will be there as well.
I wish everyone could see that.
I do too.
It's too risky to tip it up.
Yeah.
Go look at the picture. They'll be online.
That's right. It'll be online.
All right. Chef Alli, thank you.
You bet. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, we'll be back.
We're the Kansas Farm Food Connection, Kansas farmers and ranchers who are proud to put wholesome and nutritious food on your table. It's our mission to connect farms to families and families to farms through education and firsthand experience. Together, we're raising Kansas.